A question often asked me frequently is often when I look at the most advanced movers and the most established performers, are there movements in many ways that most of these players make, regardless of, for example, their coaching history, their movement values, their kind of beliefs, for example. And in many ways, the segment that really connects and threads together how these advanced and very established movers and performers kind of move is very much how the spine or the thorax or the rib cage kind of moves in swing. So looking almost at kind of previous work around the idea of the spinal engine by Serge Gravotsky, looking then very much at, say, Professor Stuart McGill, kind of looking at how MMA fighters kind of punch in some ways, and even then going back to looking at the work of kind of Moshe Feldenkrais, how the spine kind of connects into the pelvis. So we know, for example, that how the spine moves, how the thorax moves, how the rib cage moves in swing is a tremendous drive off, for example, then how the pelvis moves, and even then connected into, say, for example, what we then see, say, through an ankle, and there's ground reaction forces. It's a very playful way of exploring this. In many ways, the spine is the drive of the pelvis, and how the pelvis moves then connects back to why we move the way we do through the foot and ankle. So again, going back to the work of Moshe Feldenkrais, almost every movement we make in life is how we can best position that pelvis. But in many ways, how the spine moves and how the rib cage moves is the caveat to then why the pelvis moves the way it does. So another way of playing this at home is I can move my feet very, very quickly and produce tremendous kind of foot movement, but there's minimal movements you'll see here through my spine. But being very active in trying to move that spine in a very, very fast way, almost intuitively then we start to produce those very fast, very explosive movements again through foot and ankle. So again, look at how the spine moves. Again, look at, say, how boxers, they punch through the rib cage, they punch through the pelvis and the spine, not necessarily through, say, for example, hand and arm. So the spine in many ways is that driver, the connecting segment around the most advanced movers compared to, say, less established movers. And again, I can move my feet very quickly and have minimal spine movement. But when I really place my attention in my awareness, I'm really moving that spine in that very, very explosive way, almost then intuitively, then the feet then start to respond and follow. So again, the segment that really connects often the most advanced movers, how that thorax moves, the rib cage moves in many ways, the spine drives the pelvis, and then how we move the pelvis in some ways is the driver of often know how we kind of move through foot and ankle.